Hey kids, do you remember what we're talking about today? That's right, we're talking about agape, which is God's kind of love. Let's check out this video clip and see how Johnny is doing in learning about love.
Gotta find that ring. It's supposed to be mine. I saw it first. Me! I want it now. Why would that ugly masked hero kid think he should have it? Ah, I knew I'd find him. There he is. You never should have touched my ring.
I saw Yellow chase the ring in here. Now I can catch Yellow and get the ring.
Wow, Johnny was not showing love in that video clip. What was he showing? That's right, he was showing his selfishness. Selfishness is an automatic human response to things. You can probably even think of a time that you were selfish.
I remember when I was selfish, maybe once, maybe a couple of times. My dog Boomer always wants to play fetch. And sometimes I don't feel like playing fetch, so then he gets a little sad.
I remember one time when I was selfish. I was playing video games with my brother, and I took the good controller and gave him the bad one so I could win.
A time when I've been selfish is when I used to share a room with my sister, and I wouldn't clean up my side of the room because I knew she would do it if I didn't.
I remember a time when I was selfish. It was for my honeymoon. Pastor Cody wanted to go somewhere warm and sandy, and I wanted to go somewhere cold and cuddly. So where did we go? Canada. The Bible does not want us to respond out of our selfishness. It wants us to respond out of agape, or God's unconditional love. Let's read a verse in the Bible that talks about this. We're going to 1 Corinthians 13:5, and we're reading out of the Amplified Bible. It says, "Love does not insist on its own rights or its own way." I think that's very important for us to remember when we want to be selfish. Selfishness is absorbed in God's love. God doesn't want us to respond in our own way or our own rights. You probably can think of a time where you were selfish, but maybe you were entitled to be selfish. Maybe for your birthday, you got a big chocolate candy bar. That was your birthday present, your chocolate candy bar. Do you have to share with your brother? Well, no, it's your candy bar, and it's your right to be able to eat all of it. If you eat the entire candy bar in front of your brother, does that show God's love? No, that shows us being selfish. That's our own human way. If we're following God's word, then we're going to not be selfish and show agape love instead. That means we're going to share the candy bar with our brother. I just got this huge bar of chocolate. Look how delicious it looks. Ashley, thank you so much for this bar of chocolate. It looks delicious. And look, it's creamy milk chocolate. I really love chocolate. What am I going to do with all of this chocolate?
Smells good.
And it does. It smells so good, but this thing's massive. I'm starting to really get super full. I can't even, what should I do with all of this chocolate? I know. I could put it in a cake.
Well, I'm hungry.
Or, I could mix it with whipped topping. And it could be like this chocolatey whipped topping mix. I could eat it with fruit. That would be delicious. What else do you think I could do with this? Wait, I'm sorry, were you trying to say something?
I like chocolate.
I like chocolate too, Ashley. Wait, I bet Ashley wanted me to share my chocolate. What do you think? If you were here, would you want me to share my chocolate with you? Well, Ashley says yes. She wants some of this chocolate. But Ashley, this was my chocolate bar. It's my bar. Do you guys think that if I eat this whole bar in front of Ashley, that that's selfishness? Or is that showing God's love? Well, it's definitely selfishness. And I don't want to be selfish. I want to walk in love. And part of walking in love is sharing with my friends. So Ashley, I would like to share the rest of this chocolate bar with you.
That sure is chocolatey.
God's love is sweet. I've asked Ashley to come and play a little game with us. In this game, she's going to throw the ball up and then catch the ball. Each time, she should get a little bit higher and a little bit higher. So let's watch and see how she does. Whoa, that's pretty good, Ashley. Now let's up the stakes a little bit. I want you to throw it as high as you possibly can and then catch it. And if you catch it, I'm going to give you $100. Shoot, she missed it. Wow, I bet Ashley wishes she could have turned gravity off for that last throw. Then when she threw the ball up, it would have just hovered in the air and she could have just plucked it right out of the sky. Unfortunately, we can't turn gravity off and on whenever we want. Gravity is a physical law. Just like the physical law of gravity, sowing and reaping is a spiritual law. It's always in practice and it's always happening. We can't just turn it off or on. Sowing and reaping means that if I am giving love to other people, if I'm showing God's agape love to others, then I'm not selfish and I'm being very kind and caring. That's what I'm going to reap back, is kindness. If I'm harsh with others and I'm selfish with others, that's what I get back, harshness and selfishness. It's called the law of sowing and reaping. When the Bible talks about this spiritual law of sowing and reaping, it's talking about how we should behave or act towards others. If I'm preferring someone else, it means I'm going to do the things that they want to do. It means I'm going to help them with their homework even if I don't really feel like it. It means that I'm going to play whatever game they want to play. It means that I might help them with their chores even when I want to go play Xbox. It means I'm going to prefer their wishes over what I want to do. The Bible talks about sowing and reaping and says, whatsoever a man sows, he reaps. Sometimes when we're acting out of love and we're not being selfish, it feels like we're losing. Everything in nature says, if I want to win, I better put myself first. But God's love is a supernatural love. It exceeds these earthly expectations that we have right here on earth, that we think this is how it should be. If I'm kind, I'm going to lose. God's spiritual love says it's the opposite. If you're kind, you win. If you prefer others, you win in the end. When I show love to other people, I'm going to get love in return. Let's play a game. A sentence is going to come up on the screen, and you're going to choose the correct answer. Make sure that you shout out the letter of that answer really loud so we can all hear the correct answer. This week, we're going to play between the ages. It's a big battle. So if you are 25 and younger, you're sitting at the kids' table today. If you are over 25, then let's get a win for the oldies. Our young kids are going first. 1 Corinthians 13:5 says, love does not A, eat lots of bananas, B, kick the neighbor's cat, C, draw on the wall with a Sharpie, D, insist on its own rights. Human love is A, purple, B, good, C, selfish, D, smelly. God's love is A, never selfish, B, unreachable, C, impossible, D, mushy-gushy. If we walk in love, what happens? A, we always lose. B, people will love us back. C, we don't have any toys. D, people will be mean to us. What does it mean to prefer one another? A, help friends with their homework. B, share your toys. C, put others first. D, all of the above. This reminds me of a story in the Bible. It's found in 1 Samuel 20, and it's about David. Last week we talked about David and King Saul. King Saul was in a really bad mood, and he was taking it out on David. He threw a spear at David, and David ran for his life. David had to hide in the hills for a while, and he was hoping maybe it would be safe to come back home, but he wasn't sure. David had a best friend in the castle, and his name was Jonathan. Do you remember what kind of love two best friends have for each other? That's right, phileo love. Jonathan and David were best friends, but Jonathan was also the son of the king. Jonathan could have sided with his father and trapped David so that his father could take his anger out on him. But instead, he acted in love and he warned David, "My dad's still really mad. You better not come back to the castle." That act of love may have just saved David's life. This week, as you go through your week, remember to show God's love, not selfishness. Back at the booth, I have some chocolate kisses for you. I want you to take 2 chocolate kisses, one for you and one to give to someone else. This week, we're going to show God's love. Thanks so much for joining me today. I can't wait to see you here next week.